Welcome to a moment that is about to change everything you thought you knew about the sheer grit, raw drama, and absolute unpredictability of Grand Slam tennis. Because right now at Wimbledon, we are standing on the edge of a massive sporting earthquake that could shatter the entire tennis world forever. Imagine stepping onto the hallowed, sacred green grass of the All England Club as a massive underdog, carrying the burning hopes, intense dreams, and immense pride of an entire nation on your shoulders, only to realize that standing across the net from you is the ultimate boss of modern tennis, a multi-time Grand Slam champion, a former world #1, and the reigning, ruthless powerhouse of the tour, Iga Swiatek. This isn't just another routine match scheduled on the Wimbledon order of play. This is a high-stakes collision of destiny, a classic David versus Goliath story unfolding in real time before our very eyes. And today, we are breaking down every single strategic secret, the intense psychological warfare, and the hidden tactical blueprints that could lead to the most shocking upset in tennis history. If you think this is going to be a straightforward, easy victory for the Polish superstar, you are making a massive mistake. Because what Eyala has cooked up for tomorrow's monumental showdown is a brilliant tactical game plan designed to push Swiatek to her absolute limits. And by the end of this video, you will see exactly why an upset is not just a wild fantasy, but a distinct, terrifying reality for the top seed. To fully understand the sheer magnitude of what is about to happen on that court tomorrow, we first have to look at the explosive, jaw-dropping momentum that Eyala is carrying into this match, fresh off an emotional, breathtaking revenge victory over Australia's Maya Joint that left fans inside the stadium completely stunned. Just a season ago, Joint had broken Eyala's heart in a brutal, agonizing 3-set final at Eastbourne, a loss so incredibly devastating that Eyala openly admitted she cried for days and could not even bring herself to watch the match highlights for months. But yesterday, on the grandest stage of them all, Eyala didn't just win. She exacted the ultimate cold-blooded revenge by roaring back from a set down, adjusting her baseline positioning, unleashing a barrage of lethal cross-court forehands, and finishing the match with an astonishing, rare third-set bagel, winning 6 games to love in a display of pure, unadulterated dominance. That extraordinary performance did more than just settle an old score. It shattered history books as Eyala became the first-ever tennis player from the Philippines to advance to the 3rd round of a Grand Slam in the Open era, catching the attention of tennis royalty worldwide, including legendary champion Venus Williams, who publicly saluted her incredible achievement. Now, with the entire sports world watching and the global tennis community buzzing with anticipation, this 21-year-old sensation turns her sights toward the ultimate storm, an immediate, high-stakes collision course with the defending Wimbledon champion and world-renowned powerhouse, Iga Swiatek. Now, let us dive straight into the deep tactical analysis and the statistical breakdown of how these two phenomenal athletes match up on grass, because this specific surface changes absolutely everything and introduces a chaotic element that completely neutralizes Swiatek's typical dominance. Everyone knows that Iga Swiatek is an absolute goddess on the red clay of Roland Garros, where her extreme Western forehand grip creates a vicious, heavy topspin that bounces incredibly high and pushes her opponents deep behind the baseline, giving her total control of the rally. However, when you translate that specific mechanic to the slick, low-bouncing, fast-paced grass courts of Wimbledon, that heavy topspin loses its lethal bite because the ball skids low through the surface rather than sitting up, forcing Swiatek to radically alter her swing timing and play much lower to the ground. This is exactly where Eyala's flat, aggressive, and deeply penetrating groundstrokes become a massive, dangerous weapon, because Eyala loves to take the ball incredibly early on the rise, striking it with a flatter trajectory that cuts through the grass court like a knife, denying Swiatek the luxury of time that she desperately needs to set up her complex, devastating shots. If Eyala can maintain an exceptionally high first serve efficiency, tracking well above her previous 60% threshold, and consistently direct her aggressive returns deep into Swiatek's forehand corner before the pole can establish her rhythm, we will see immediate signs of frustration from the defending champion. The psychological warfare heading into tomorrow's blockbusting match is just as critical as the physical execution on court, because the immense, suffocating pressure is shifted entirely onto the shoulders of Iga Swiatek, who enters this arena with everything to lose against a fearless, highly motivated young star who has absolutely nothing to lose and a whole universe to gain. Swiatek is fighting to maintain her iron grip on the world rankings, protecting a massive mountain of ranking points and dealing with the persistent, critical media narrative that her game is somehow inherently vulnerable on natural grass courts. Eyala, on the other hand, is playing with house money, fueled by the intoxicating energy of making history for her country, backed by an incredibly passionate, roaring global fan base that turns every single stadium into a home court advantage for her. In her post-match press conference, Eyala showed incredible maturity and supreme confidence, stating clearly that while she respects Swiatek's incredible achievements, she is entering the stadium expecting a fierce battle and fully intends to make life absolute hell for the champion on every single point. This fearless mindset is precisely what triggers monumental Grand Slam upsets. Because if an underdog can steal an early break of serve, disrupt the favorite's composure, and extend the opening set into a high-stress tiebreak, the psychological weight can cause even the greatest champions to tighten up and commit unforced errors. To truly appreciate how Eyala can dismantle Swiatek's rhythm, we have to look closer at the return of serve statistics, which will arguably be the single most defining factor in determining who walks away victorious from tomorrow's epic center court showdown. During her previous rounds, Eyala displayed a brilliant, aggressive return strategy, ruthlessly punishing her opponent's second serves by stepping inside the baseline, taking the ball on the rise and hitting deep, heavy angles that forced immediate defensive errors. Swiatek's second serve has historically been looked at by tennis analysts as the one minor chink in her formidable armor, as it can occasionally sit up nicely in the hitting zone on faster surfaces, making it highly susceptible to aggressive, hyper-focused returners who aren't afraid to attack it with maximum power. If Eyala can successfully neutralize Swiatek's body serves, avoid leaking cheap unforced errors on the slice transitions, and force Swiatek into grueling physical baseline rallies exceeding 8 to 10 shots, she will systematically sap the champion's confidence. This match will not be decided by soft, passive tennis or safe tactical playing. It will be a high-octane baseline slugfest where the player who commands the center of the court and dictates the tempo from the very first strike will ultimately book their ticket to the prestigious second week of Wimbledon. As we look at the potential outcomes of tomorrow's historic clash, the implications for the broader tennis landscape are absolutely staggering, because a victory for Alex Eyala would instantly resonate as the single biggest sports story of the decade, completely redefining the future of Asian tennis on the global stage. The energy surrounding Tennis Pulse right now is electric, and as a creator analyzing these patterns daily, the statistical fluctuations, the court speed data, and the emotional trajectories of both players strongly indicate that we are tracking toward a match that will be significantly closer, fiercer, and more dramatic than the standard betting odds would ever lead you to believe. The stage is officially set, the flashbulbs are ready, the grass is perfectly manicured, and the tennis world is holding its collective breath to watch if a rising star can truly topple a giant in front of a packed, raucous crowd. Do not look away from your screens tomorrow, because whether it is a heroic, fighting performance that cements her status among the elite or a earth-shattering upset that breaks the internet, Alex Eyala is about to put on an unforgettable show that will be analyzed for years to come. Now, the absolute biggest question remains, and I want to hear from every single one of you down in the comments section right now. Can the incredible Filipino sensation pull off the impossible and shock the world? Or will Swiatek's champion experience prove too strong to overcome? Smash that like button, subscribe to Tennis Pulse right now for the fastest, most explosive match updates, and make sure your notifications are turned on because this historic Wimbledon journey is reaching a boiling point you cannot afford to miss. This is exactly why tomorrow's epic center court showdown is guaranteed to be an absolute thriller that could redefine tennis history forever. The pressure is mounting, the stakes have never been higher, and the entire world is waiting to see if a brand new superstar can truly conquer the reigning champion on the grandest stage of them all. Make sure you don't miss a single second of this legendary battle. Drop your predictions below, smash that like button, subscribe to Tennis Pulse for the fastest updates, and turn on notifications because the real drama is just beginning right now.